felt a hand touch my shoulder. No one was there.
I saw a nun, her hands were dripping with blood. It's all about
I heard
fear.
a choir of nuns in the grand entrance hall.
It's all about belief.
Stones were thrown at my head in the cellar.
A pair of cutlery flew towards us.
I dreamt I saw a man hanging from the tree outside.
Every Thursday at 10 o'clock, there was a man at
Dreamt
the
I saw a
front
man
window.
hanging from a
The
tree.
covers were pulled
That
off my
night,
bed.
someone committed suicide.
I had to leave the house.
Paranormal occurrences in this house when we lived here were on a daily basis. You'd have corner of the eye stuff where you'd think you'd see someone out the corner of your eye, or you'd hear your voice being called, and then obviously you'd have the occurrences where you'd walk around a corner and you would actually see something face to face. It was in the winter, so we was closed. There was no members of the public here. The dog got out from upstairs and the dog was running around the hall, so she bent down, picked up our dog, and she looked up, and as she picked the dog up and looked up the stairs, there was a man standing there, and this elderly man just looked at her and smiled and then vanished in front of her. She ended up describing his clothing, described the face, the style that he was dressed in, and it sounded like he was dressed in Victorian garb, sounded like Victorian clothing. I decided to get a few pictures together of different Victorian people from the local area, random Victorian photographs and stuff like that. Anyway, she was looking for all these pictures, and then she came to this picture in the book, and she said, "That's him." She said, "That's the man." She said, "That's the man I saw at the top of the stairs." So I looked at it and said, "Okay, we know who he is now." Anyway, I told the local historian about it. He said, "That person sitting in that chair is actually Sir Francis Austen, brother of Jane Austen, the Hampshire author." And of course that got me thinking. I thought, why on earth would Francis Austen be at Wymering Manor? And then I obviously found out that he was a former church warden from the church across the road. The vicar of the church at the time lived here. You don't need to be a rocket scientist to work out he would have come here. It's broad daylight, absolute broad daylight. We'd just closed for the morning session, so it was about 10 o'clock in the morning. I'd finished tidying up downstairs. I walked up the staircase, I walked into room 1, and as I walked into room 1 I was just confronted with an apparition of a man hanging. It was just a body hanging on a rope, and he appeared to be flanked by 2 maids. One of the maids had a hand on her face, and it's strange because she was screaming, "He's done it, he's fucking done it." But there was no sound. There was no sound coming out of her mouth. But I distinctly remember hearing the words, which was bizarre. John had been an employee of the Lord of the Manor at the time. The Lord had done something to offend John, and basically John was already in a bit of a depressed state and decided to get one back and go and hang himself in room 1 right above the master's bedroom. Basically, once he died, because he was Catholic, he came out of his body and realised he'd committed the gravest of mortal sins and was condemned to hell, panicked and decided not to go anywhere, just wanted to stay in the house. So basically he'd spent the last 400 or 500 years living in a state of perpetual fear, fearing he was going to go to hell because of his action. Whether you believe in ghosts or not, they're an integral part of British cultural identity. And I think that the stories of them, the legends, the myths, all the tales that surround them, they've got to be recorded and they've got to go down through history because they are part of our society, they're part of our legends and our history. Long gone are the days where people say, "Oh, that house is haunted," and everyone goes, "Oh yeah, okay, 100% I believe it." It's not about belief, it's about proof. Is there an afterlife? Is there a God? Is it alternate dimensions? Is it intersecting dimensions? I don't know, I can't tell you. But what I can tell you is that I've had proof in this house that there is something that may be supernatural, but until we all die and get there, we won't actually know unless it's actually natural and not supernatural.